want to remind you, brothers and sisters, that we as Muslims here in this part of the world have an agenda. And what we're not trying to do is to assimilate into the American way. We're not trying to be like other Americans. That's not our agenda. But our agenda is to give the Americans a guidance. Now, brothers and sisters, the people in this society, they made the mistake, they got religion out of the state. But all of them will protect the religion of freedom, the religion of the press, and the religion of speech. Once the Muslims know that, they then know how to react and interact without assimilating, but interacting, and interact upon them, and to bring them into Allah's deen, inshaAllah. Walhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
I'm glad you said we could make statements, because I didn't really have a question, but I wanted to make a comment on something that you said. And that was the point that you made about how Americans see freedom of religion. Many Americans themselves don't know that when the founders of the country were forming a country, they themselves fought and argued about the concept of freedom of religion.
Yes.
And they labored very hard to bring about the understanding that they had about freedom of religion. And this is very important in understanding Americans and how they see religion. So, you know, alhamdulillah, I'm glad you made that point. And I also think that your point about the situation being right for dawah is very much true, you know, very much.
Thank you very much. And I want to mention this too. They put a provision in that Constitution to make for revisions, amendments, or to repeal something. In 1919, the 18th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States of America made it illegal to manufacture, to sell, and to transport intoxicating drinks. 14 years later, in 1933, with the 21st Amendment of the United States of America, they repealed that, which means now it became legal again. That shows you a kind of flexibility. Know the issues, and then see the opportunity to bring Islam into those issues. This is to me, our great challenge that we have, to know the issues, to study the issues, and come from an Islamic perspective, and at the same time, inshallah, make converts to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Muslims have been very reluctant to get into politics. For years I preached, we shouldn't get in politics, politics is corrupt, and so forth and so forth. I got a different thought altogether now. You mean to tell me that if a senator of the United States of America accepted Islam, or someone from the Supreme Court, in the Supreme Court accepted Islam, you don't think that that's good for us? Believe me, it's good for us. I would prefer to have a Muslim, a true Muslim, a head of the United States Army than an enemy. I would rather have a president of the United States of America, or a senator, or congressman, or a Supreme Court judge who's Muslim. What? And there are people, by the way, there are people in the Congress who are Jews, but you don't know it because they hide their faith. But they're there giving advice. Check it out. So the question is, are they going to be involved in politics passively or aggressively? Now, some of you, I know that getting involved in politics is not a substitute for jihad. It's not. I think Muslims should continue to develop in every aspect of the Islam. Our political involvement should not be individual. It should be collective. In other words, I do not believe that Muslims ought to get in politics because that's the American thing to do. No. I think Muslims ought to get in politics for our agenda, to bring about our collective agenda, so that we can move this nation in the places where it ought to be.